Thank you guys for tuning in to another week of Fine and Dandy podcast. We are back again with another episode. Hell yeah, this is the 99th episode. We're about to hit 100. Fucking let's go. It's a checkpoint here.
The big 9-9, dude.
About to hit that
Brooklyn
100.
9-9, but we're not in Brooklyn.
Yeah, no trademark or no
No
copyright.
TM.
No copyright.
No copy.
Hey,
Right?
feels pretty good though. Long time coming. Finally about to hit this 100th episode. Probably should have hit a little bit sooner, but life happens and we make the best of what we can. I'm going to try to do something special for the 100th. Might take a little bit longer for that one to come out. Hopefully not too long, but we want to plan something out and make it
Make it a special day.
yeah, it's a big checkpoint for us,
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking 100 episodes, dude.
Yeah, and you say that we could have got there sooner, but like theoretically, the only way to get there sooner is to do it every week or whatever, for a long ass time. But like that dedication, sorry, my phone keeps going off. That dedication does take a little bit of progression and like preparedness, I guess is the word. But just to like starting up a podcast from nothing type shit and just in your living room or what started as your bedroom type shit into someone else's living room and then all the way to here type shit. Like it's not like we had funding or anything like that to have the expectation that we were gonna like stick to a schedule all the time was kind of like irrational in a way.
We didn't even have like a plan.
No, we didn't. But beyond that, we're still only 4 years in max. 3 or 4, 5.
Going
at
on
the
5.
most.
I think we're going on 5.
I think it's gonna be 5 at the end of the year or something. But we're like 4 years in, right? I think we like started at the end of 2018.
You think so? I think we started like 27.
I
think
find out.
yeah, if you want to go to YouTube,
Yeah, I'll
real
go
quick,
check it out. But
well, like the first, the first couple, I guess you could count, but those weren't even. Those were just like fucking
poopy butthole. No, I'm kidding.
throwing shit into the wind. You know what I mean? Just seeing or throwing shit at a wall and just seeing what
What
was gonna
sticks.
stick. It was kind of just chaotic and no real rhyme or reason to it
Oh, wait.
at all. You can go back
Did
all
you change your YouTube password? Yeah,
Me?
you changed your YouTube password. Let me just instead of logging in.
Yeah, you could just search up
Yeah.
go to Fine and Dandy. Yeah, fucking 99 episodes. If you think about 100 episodes, that's pretty much episode every week for 2 years.
Yeah, it is. What the fuck? Fuck these guys. Who are these guys?
What?
Fine and Dandy Pod.
The whole different one?
Yeah, some other people. Fuck 'em. We're just Fine and Dandy, not Fine and Dandy podcast. Oh, I did not mean to play our intro.
Automatically plays.
It does?
I think
Oh,
so.
That's sick. Here we go. Gotta scroll all the
It is
way.
crazy, though. It's almost episodes. And you gotta think. We took. I think it was almost a 6-month hiatus at one point too, though, because
So I guess it depends on which one you count as the first episode.
Simple Conversation was like our first. one that we did.
Yeah.
'Cause
That
we were
when does it say the date somewhere?
Yeah,
It just says 4 years ago about it. I'm trying to see where it says like the date.
you clicked it.
September 22nd, 2018 was the first time we ever recorded a podcast.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going on 5 years. Coming up on 5 years.
Then
This year.
our next episode after that didn't come out until
Yeah, skip all the Roy shit. Skip
That
all the Roy
did.
shit.
May 27th of 2019. So, if you take that one and go forward, then
'Cause that's when we decided to actually start.
that's when we actually decided to like do a podcast together. If you take that one and go forward, then we are
4
three
years.
and a half.
We're going on 4.
We're going on 4. Like right after my birthday will be 4 years of
Crazy.
pods. Yeah. So even at that rate, say if we took all the way up until my birthday to drop the 100th episode, which we won't, obviously, but if we did, then we would still be pacing about like one episode every 2 weeks for the last 4 years, which is not that bad. Some people quit after a couple episodes to begin with.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it's definitely a consistency thing. I mean, yeah, running out of topics, thinking about what to talk
I
about.
mean, I've the podcast I'm working on, like for the sports shit I'm about to start back up. We're doing bi-weekly episodes, so like,
Just to get in the groove of things.
well, for sure that, but also because the season's about to be over, we're gonna have like a big off season. Well, not us, but basketball. So, and before football starts, like, there's just gonna be a big period of like, well, we don't really want to talk about baseball because neither one of us really give a fuck about baseball, but there's just gonna be a big period of time where there's not that much going on. So like every 2 weeks we're gonna be releasing an episode of like concepts, like conversation, instead of like more reporting on what's happening in the world. It's just like conversation of like what we think of this or that. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
You'll have to check it out to find out.
You should definitely do like really start getting the facts and like seeing where people are. I mean, and trying to predictions and all that stuff.
Right. But my point is that like the idea of a bi-weekly podcast is something that's being utilized already. Like
Yeah.
there are bi-weekly podcasts. So to think that we aren't necessarily a bi-weekly podcast, but we've been in the industry for like at least almost 4 years now, and we're about to hit our 100th episode. That's pacing. We're pacing well. We're not pacing horribly. You know what I mean? Like, we could be doing a lot worse.
Be a lot better, but
We could be doing a lot better. That's not here nor there.
working on it though.
But I don't know. I, for one, am an appreciator of our progression and our journey. I'm not necessarily worried about where the destination becomes, because I mean, it's not really about that.
Oh, look,
Never been in this for the money. It's mostly just been for the vibes and the conversation, which I've gotten to have
a lot
so
of people.
many cool people on the podcast, so many cool people that come up to me about the podcast outside of here type shit. It's just a fucking awesome thing to do. I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I mean, and with most, I mean, I hear it all the time. It's like most time you don't even break through in a craft within like it takes about 10 years on average.
Oh yeah.
Like an average of 10 years to break through in any.
I mean, look
type
at
of
us.
art
We're
form.
3.5 years in, and we're barely just now getting the hang of some shit.
Yep. It's about to be 4 years. No, 5 years. About to be 5 years in.
We've had
Not
like
19. You said
7
4 years.
different sets.
Yeah.
Had
This is the most
multiple
consistent.
different mics, multiple different computers we've used, multiple different interfaces, multiple different camera phones and shit like that. Like, we've ran through a bunch of different shit to get to where we are now. It's not just walk up in the studio and get some shit done. I'm looking at some of these old episodes. You look silly as shit.
Oh, I look dumb as fuck, dude. It's always funny 'cause I have long hair now. I mean, for most people who will probably watch this have probably seen me with short hair. I mean, for those of you who haven't, anytime I go to show somebody, I just like, hey, go watch some old episodes. Or
If
go look at old
anybody
episodes
knows
of the podcast.
anything about making thumbnails, that would be a sick like thing to teach us, because
Oh, yeah.
like we could really utilize
Thumbnails.
that skill.
I think the thumbnails are definitely. I think about that all the time. If we had like better,
we
if
just
had better
right
thumb-
now we just use like not clips, like a screenshot almost from the podcast as
just a
the thumbnail.
like a freeze frame
Yeah,
of the video.
which isn't like the worst, but I think a thumbnail could help our imaging and product.
A lot of things that we could but yeah, no. Cheers though to coming up on 100, coming up on to 4 years or 5, whatever you want to say. And it's been
Also, I need to get some new fits.
me too.
Repeated outfits so many times.
Oh, you're telling me, dog. You're telling me. I'm like, what am I gonna wear? You know.
Like episode 93 and 94, wearing the same shirt, same beanie, but the beanies are different colors.
Great job. Killing it. Tough. Half the time I'm just coming home from the gym. I'm like, let's fucking record. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
whatever I
true.
got on from the gym, I don't have that many gym fits, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm coming in straight to the studio, straight off the fucking grind. You know what I'm saying?
Straight off the poopy butthole.
Straight off the press, dude. The hot press.
The benchy.
Fucking working out here. Nah, but thank you to everyone who's been tuning in, man. It's been a fucking journey. It's been great. Thank you guys so much.
You guys want to go watch some of the older episodes? Be my guest.
Yeah, go do it. Honestly, take a deep dive, dude. You might learn something about us. We used to suck a lot more.
I might
I
go
li-
check
like
some of
life.
these out just for the
You don't want to.
fuck of.
You don't want to.
You said don't do it.
I'm
Don't
not
do
gonna lie though. Some of our conversations then I feel like were almost a little better than now. Like the flow is way off. We did not have a good flow, but I
We
think
we're touching on some interesting things. I feel
the
like
the conversation there was a lot of good meat in there, but I think
it lacked potatoes. You're right.
yeah, there was just not. Said that before too. I hate that, but it was. How do I say this? It was just like a lot of rambling.
Rambling,
Felt like a lot of rambling.
grambling,
Yeah.
gambling.
There would be introductions where the intro would just be us like, all right, how the fuck are we about to just get into this? You know, think about this. I just want everyone to think about this for a second. Podcast is easy, right? Ish. If you don't have a team, you're coming up with everything. You're doing everything. This shit is work for sure.
Dude,
All
I
right.
wore a Spider-Man jersey on the podcast before. Let's fucking go.
Spider-Man, dude. You're
I'm
Peter Parker.
Peter.
You're
No,
Peter Parker.
Better.
Peter
Parker.
Parker.
Better Parker.
Peter Moreno.
Better Parker.
You could be Peter Moreno. Peter Moreno.
I don't want to be Peter Moreno.
I mean Morales. There's fucking Miles Morales.
I want to be Peter Porker.
It's me, Peter Porker. Oh, that's fucking fire. I wonder if they'll bring him back. All right. But let's get into it.
Let's
So,
get into it.
We're gonna get
bro.
into some.
Some poopy
We're gonna cover just the
buttholes.
basics real quick, the surface level shit, 'cause I mean, low hanging fruit. Am I right? So I'm sure most people have seen on the socials. Honestly, I'm getting fucking tired of socials. I don't even know why I get on half the time anymore. But there was the recent, I guess, the things that are trending right now, which I think are both dumb as fuck, is the there's the Bud Light thing. We'll dive deep into each one. There's the Bud Light videos that are popping up right now, and then there's the one. Do you remember the girls' names for the
Yo, yeah. I mean, it's
something Reese and then
so it's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Clark.
But I mean, I don't really want to talk about like that situation.
no, not the. We're gonna cover.
We're gonna cover kind of like the background.
We gotta give the
of it.
summary of it, but like I don't care enough to
Yeah.
yeah. So essentially, with the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, all it was like the "you can't see me" I think is what sparked it.
Well, no. I mean, it depends on I guess which way you're looking at it. I mean, so if you want to say like what it started with, according to Angel Reese's post game interviews, she was saying that like what started their like disrespect, like how they felt disrespected almost, was how Caitlin Clark's team Iowa was defending and celebrating when they played against South Carolina and then the team before that in the tournament. In that game against South Carolina, Caitlin Clark specifically waved off another girl who was, I forgot her name. She was a guard for South Carolina, who was on the scouting report. Basically, she can't shoot. I mean, I'm not saying that. That's what their scouting report said.
In South Carolina.
Yes. So Caitlin Clark, like whenever this girl was wide open, she waved her off, like basically saying like, "Go ahead, shoot it," type shit. And that was seen as disrespectful by Angel Reese and the girls on LSU. According to her, because South Carolina is in the SEC, which is the same division as the LSU, she was saying that like that's like you disrespected them, like you kind of disrespected me. I don't deal with disrespect well. It's like my opinion, I guess, is like that's weird. I mean, you're taking disrespect for another person at that point. Like she waved somebody off, and then like, I mean, that's a scouting play. You know what I mean? But regardless of that, I do see where like a lot of the controversy is coming from because it's very light, but also like there's a lot playing into it.
It's all for media.
So then
Attention.
so to be fair, to give even more background than is necessary, Angel Reese was not just mocking her like with the "you can't see me" thing, but then she also like followed her around the court and like kept doing it like saying "ring me" and shit. Like she was celebrating, you know what I mean? Like it's an athlete celebrating a national championship.
It's competitive.
Literally.
It's a competitive
Like,
game.
I don't get the whole like it's a classless move. I don't get the whole like calling her a piece of shit or anything like that. That's a whole like left turn of what actually happened. It's a competitive sport at the highest level, at the highest level of the highest level for them. Like, this is something that are going to be remembered for, as well as remember for the rest of their life. She should get to talk her shit if she wants. You know what I mean? Like, but then that logic should be applied to the game before. You know what I mean? Like, this girl was talking shit, but she won. Like, if like we're warranting, like, both things should be warranted. It's a celebration. It's a tactic of like trying to get in your opponent's head. It's a tactic of also trying to enjoy the moment of which you're in. Some people celebrate differently than others, and that's okay. Like, what's wrong with that? It's a competitive celebration. It's like in my opinion, it's as silly as blowing the whistle on Hingle McCringleberry for hitting 3 pumps in the end zone. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Who cares?
I mean, also, I think it's funny because she lost. But, like, where I'm going with that, she lost, but somehow
Angel Reese won.
They won?
Yes.
No,
LSU won.
I thought Iowa won.
No.
I think Iowa won.
Look at it again. Iowa lost by 20.
For real?
Or some crazy amount. It was not close.
Oh, shit. For real. Iowa.
LSU won by a lot.
With a score.
It's like 102 to 89, I think.
Oh, shit.
Or 83.
Damn, they fucking.
What was it? 102 to what?
85.
85. So 17 points.
That's rough. Right.
But yes. So
Yeah.
look,
Never mind them.
she won. She gets to talk her shit. Why not? My thing is that like
Giving the spotlight for not
like,
even for winning, for talking shit is
no,
crazy.
I mean, that's what it is. Is that like people take these small moments in a competitive sport and want to make a race war out of it for almost nothing. After the fact, Caitlin Clark said, she shouldn't be criticized whatsoever for what she said or did. It's a celebration of a competitive sport. Why are y'all trying to demonize her for what she said
beyond the
or
race
did?
thing, it's just like, why are we making something not controversial? Like, why are we making such a big deal out of nothing?
Right.
It's what do we really? It's
if
just
if she was white, y'all wouldn't be saying that. It's like, I don't know if that's true, but also you're letting the mass media play into like your everyday life. Like,
I think that's the
even
point.
if the media is saying like she's classless and da 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 da, like,
Do you think they almost do it just on like it's like a thing where they know like if they do it,
Yes.
people will know it. They no matter what, they're gonna be like, oh, this is a race thing.
at
So
the
they
end of
feed
the
into
day, we
the
have
fact
to
that
understand that ESPN, CBS, fucking all the sports channels, TNT, all these people are networks. They have fucking budgets. They have money to be made, profits, margins that need to be filled, and employees to pay out. There is no, do you think? No, it's for sure. They know that if they put out this tweet, it's fucking Dave Portnoy's at the center of this shit, the fucking Barstool guy. Like, he has every bit of reasoning to be the person or the face
Antagonist.
at the center of the controversy, because it's profitable for him, his newspaper or whatever the fuck he's running, his blog, podcast, whatever it is. It's all profitable. So at that level, why wouldn't you want to be in the middle of those profits? Even if people tarnish your name, call you an asshole, call you a piece of shit for calling a woman in college a classless piece of shit, you don't care because you're raking in the money. Like, we need to stop acting like these people in the centers of these controversies actually care about the either side of that controversy.
It goes back to that speed racer type of thing where it's like we already decided the winner.
Right.
It's like we don't care about who wins or loses. We're here for the money.
Right. And I mean, like, as controversial as it is, that reminds me of the situation with the Leah Thomas, that girl that was talking about the swimmers and stuff like that, had to deal with the trans person that was competing in women's sports. Like, what she was talking about is controversial, like, at its core. But I guess what I'm going with this is that, like, fuck, I had a point and I don't know where I was.
Was it with the photo op type of thing?
So,
Yeah.
So, like, her point and going up to that was controversial in itself, but like what she enlightened upon the world is that her college or whoever was giving that award, or I forgot exactly. NCAA. Whenever they did that, they chose Leah Thomas to be in the photo, even though they had a dead tie. So like at that level, you're like, oh, so this is just for optics. You don't care about the sport. You don't care about the athlete. You don't care about anything involved in this other than just how you look on this topic. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
it
mean, right now it's a big thing. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's how you look. I mean, it's your image, your
it's
branding.
it's bigger than that because it's not just right now. I think it's always been like that, but
For
now
sure.
it's bigger than that because I guess it's harder to have a substantially good image now with media and social media the way that it is, with how connected everyone is, with the paparazzi, with everybody that's like outside paying attention to other people type shit. It's probably harder to protect your image. You know what I mean? You probably have to have a team of people that make everything that you're doing look like it's on the right path,
Oh, you
even
have
if
to.
you're doing some fucked up
There's
shit.
there's like multiple people in each department trying
Correct.
to make
There's
sure
a-
everything's.
But that's what I'm saying is like we're in an age where like everyday civilians have a PR team. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how your image is going to be affected by da 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 da. So we're like almost self-censoring in that way. In the way we don't want ourselves to come off a certain way, so we might not talk about this. We might have an internal PR team in certain situations. You know what I mean?
But yeah, that also goes into the thing we were gonna talk about anyways. Is the whole Bud Light.
Butt light, am I
Bud
right?
Oh my god. Honestly, personally, I hate Bud Light anyways as a drink. As a beer, I think it is the most bottom tier ass beer. And
It's pretty homophobic if you ask me.
oh my god. Personally, I think Bush. I would even go as far to say Coors Light is better than Bud Light. Personally, Coors Light, Bush, not Bush Light, but just Bush. Miller. I just hate Bud Light. Honestly, and Budweiser. I don't like the beers. But going with that being said, I think the whole thing is now because I think they put fucking rainbows on their cans and their support. It's just crazy how certain colors at this point people are getting mad. Like it's always like it's weird to hit the snowflake button. You know, like people are snowflakes, but then you're getting mad over a fucking dude. It's a rainbow. You can look outside.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. No one cares. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's because you associate in your like, especially with kids. Like they're indoctrinating kids. First of all, kids don't look at a rainbow and think of anything else but the fact that it's a fucking rainbow.
Right.
If we're being honest,
Like
its symbolism comes later when you associate things with
fair.
other things. You know, but the whole
But see, the same people that have a problem with rainbows as like the symbol in the symbolism way are perfectly okay with like Jesus Christ crosses being all over town and fucking like talked about in schools and da 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 da. Like people that are on that side of like, how dare you teach my son this, are willing for their other people's kids to be taught shit that they shouldn't be taught either, as long as they believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's such a hypocritical viewpoint.
yeah.
It's ignorant at its core, but like it keeps happening. I mean, this happened a few years ago with fucking Halliburton, the gun company. I think they're a gun company, weapons company. I know they make weapons.
Did they do
But
also
They
LGBTQ?
fucking did like I don't know if it was a gun or just an advertisement with like rainbow colored stuff. Like, and it was in the height of the 2020 like social controversies of everything going on, not just the BLM and the George Floyd stuff. But what else? There was the women's activist.
Me Too.
The Me Too. That's what I was thinking of. Like during all the height
Internet,
of
any internet movement you could
during the
think
height of all of that, you
Yeah.
saw a bunch of companies doing whatever they possibly could to stand on the right side of things. So, I mean, this isn't new. It's just the next company trying to invigorate a new market, basically. If I put a rainbow on my can, we might get a few gay people to go buy this product. You know what I mean? Like, it's ignorant thought processing from a marketing team that is also being taken in an ignorant thought process by the consumer.
But they're not. It's funny because it probably is working in the sense that for as many people who are like, I'm gonna stop drinking Bud Light, is
But think
as
about
many all the people who are
That's a
gonna
good point.
wow, just because you're not gonna drink it, I'm gonna go buy it now because these fucking idiots.
Or beyond that, it's also like, what if it was just a one-time marketing thing? If we just do this one time, we can get at least 1,000 people to go buy a case of beer just to show their friends that they're gonna shoot it with their guns or fucking set it on fire or throw it in the trash. Like, think about how much they're selling just so these guys can make those videos. You know what I mean? It's like the jersey burning thing. You still had to buy the jersey to burn that bitch. You know what I mean? Like
It is funny though because the Kid Rock video, he had 3 cases. And the other dude I saw where he was throwing it
That
away,
dude had so much Bud Light.
I'm like, who drinks that much Bud Light? First of all, regardless of the
He's like,
fact,
I guess I gotta change to Coors. It's like,
first of all, the fact that you were drinking that much Bud Light to begin with is a crime, sir. Like, I don't know, it was you were already on the wrong side of things by drinking Bud Light. First of all,
Coors should double down, and instead of having the mountains blue whenever they're fucking
no, they've
cold,
already done that though.
they've made the mountains rainbow.
Yeah.
No way.
Dude, there's been it all over the internet, like multiple campaigns of Coors Light doing.
Oh, that's
doing
sick.
that already.
I actually kind of want to get some of those.
It's
That probably looks sick.
It's hilarious because there's already multiple Coors Light campaigns with same sex like couples and rainbows. So it's funny for all the I'm going Coors. First of all, you fucking idiots.
Right.
Every brand's on this right now. You got to think they're there to make money. Money has no like market they're not trying to touch.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
there's the I don't know how many different like levels of marketing but there's like these different concepts that people use for marketing, like obviously like sex sells and things like that. But like, I don't know. We're getting to a point where it's like, how do you not know that's just a marketing campaign? Like, who cares? Are we really gonna lose our fucking marbles over a marketing campaign? Like, they gotta sell their shit, dude. Like,
I think it's funny though. It's funny because it's just you want to laugh because at this point you're like, what the fuck are we even getting mad at? What the fuck? Like
Lil Nas X sold some shoes with literal blood in them, and social media lost it then too. Like, this isn't new behavior. It's just the new thing people want to act this way on.
it's because controversy sells.
Not even just that, but like I'm more so like on the thought process of like, there's got to be someone from that company starting that controversy. You know what I mean? Not just the product placement, obviously, but also within these groups of people that are experiencing outrage over this topic. You have probably at least one or two people from that company that are like, yeah, we fucking hate them. You should go buy out as many Bud Lights as you possibly can, and then you know what you do? You don't drink a single one. You just fucking shoot them with your AR-15.
And throw them in the
and
trash.
then you throw them in the trash. It's like, how is there not? It's like the FBI informant thing. It's like for every criminal organization there is, it's probably at least one FBI informant in there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Where I'm at is like, I'm done believing that most of this shit is just like ignorant people doing ignorant shit. I think it's very calculated things that are happening to ignorant people, and then those ignorant people just ride with it. You know what I mean? Like,
I would pull the mark a little bit.
My fault. But
I was wondering how long before it was all the way.
I'm still getting picked up, but it was getting a little farther away. So yeah, that's my bad.
I was like, how long until you're
It's
all the
'cause
way
this
on
wire.
the other?
Will you pull the wire like up on the table? This wire. Yeah. It's being like over here. Being pulled. So
Cool. We
keeps
got
turning.
but,
there we go.
Yeah, good point. Like, so at some point, it's someone in that company like making these videos, or hey, we'll pay
gotta
you to
be.
make this dumbass video, and all the ignorant people just feeding into the ignorance.
It's like the FTX shit with the celebrities, you know what I mean? Like, they all got duped. All the people that bought into it got duped just as much as the average American. But like, those people, it's a little bit like weirder because you would think like, don't you have like a fucking money guy that looks over this shit? And you know what I mean? Like, that guy got duped too. Yeah, like, fuck.
It is tough, man. It's weird though. I have had to honestly, like, that's what I was saying at the beginning. Socials at this point, oh my god.
I mean, they're just
They're like, don't get me wrong, and like, I guess you hear a lot of people, in comedy or doing podcasts or just anyone kind of trying to make it for themselves in entertainment. Music is another industry. Social media right now is kind of important. But other than that, for me, I mean, jokes and shit are funny too. Memes are cool. But like Instagram, Twitter, like Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook has some funny stuff, though. Hold on real quick. I just have to say this because this shit was hilarious, dude. I was on Facebook. This is random. This is a little off topic here. But I was on Facebook, and there was a post about oh my God. There was a new Waffle House that had just opened up. I think it was in Pennsylvania or some shit. And everyone was smiling and shit. And everyone's like, those floors are a little too clean for me. Not one Waffle House employee looks like they can fight. Like, I'm going to give it a few weeks before I step foot now. I need that shit to get a little dirty. I need my Waffle House, the person. It's like, not one person's missing teeth.
Real
Not
shit
one
though.
employee.
Not one disability in that
This
bitch.
is fucked up. This Waffle House is shit.
Not a single felon on staff.
Someone said that. That was another comment. Someone's like, "Damn, bro, I need my waitress to be smoking a cigarette out front before." I was like, "Damn, that is so true." 'Cause I've definitely had that happen multiple times.
because
I've had a server who has no teeth. I've had the fucking person who's smoking a cigarette before they come inside to serve us.
And then you've had the bad experience at Waffle House where you didn't have any of that, where it was everything seems fine. It's like, wow, things are kind of crazy. This actually seems like a nice night to be here. Shittiest service ever. Food takes the longest. It's just like, what is happening? Am I supposed to come in here in crackhead hours, or like, what's going on?
Yeah, you want that lady who's like really like life is a little run down, and then they're really trying. You know what I mean? They're like, I really got to try because I need the money. So they're like, "Hey, sweetie," you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or like,
yeah.
they're trying to crack jokes with you.
I don't know. There is something
Or
nice
maybe
about that,
they're
but there's
in-
also something nice about the polar opposite of that, which is the person that's like, "What the fuck do y'all want?"
That's also
It's
true.
like, you know what? I'm sorry for being here, but I would like a waffle.
At least we know what we're getting.
You know what I mean?
I think that's what it is, though. You know, you're going in there. You know what you're getting. No, there's no face on it.
it's dinner and a show.
Oh, Ryan.
We're not finna bark, dude. Stop barking, bro.
But it's you go in there, you know what you're getting. There's no face on. There's no one pretending like this is a 5-star establishment. You're coming in for a all-star special, maybe a hash brown bowl, and then you're fucking maybe getting a water if they remember, and then you're leaving.
Right.
It's fucking you're getting what you want, and that's it. I will fuck it. And that's where I would say goes back to I know I'm gonna wrap back in what we were talking about earlier. This is what I was saying on like I don't even know how many podcasts ago now at this point. Waffle House is a 5-star establishment to me.
Not
To me.
I think what you did in that point was you were just like too Waffle House dominant. You were unwilling to give IHOP and Denny's their due. I think what's really like important about the argument is that all three have like serve their purpose well. If you want lunch, you're not going to IHOP or Waffle House. And if you do, I have questions. You're going to Denny's out of the three if you want lunch. Am I wrong?
I'm gonna got House of Pies right here. So if we're hitting
Well, that's not
if we
in
have
the
a
question.
I know if we have a
We're
diner.
talking about these three,
That's
motherfucker.
fair, that's fair. All right,
House
now,
of Pies is different. You go there over Waffle House too. You go there over everything. That's a 5-star establishment.
that's a yeah, if you're looking for a good diner food,
It's not a 5-star establishment, but for diner food, it's 5-star. Probably
the Dot would be a 5-star diner. I feel like it's owned by Papa's though.
is it? I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a 5-star diner though.
This is
It's still diner food, but
this is inside baseball for diner food, but
hey man, talk food. I'm there.
if you go late night, I mean, anyone that picks Denny's or IHOP over Waffle House is also a psychopath. But if you
Who
go
picks
early
what?
morning, I'm saying, so hear me out.
I'm picking Denny's over IHOP.
Anytime it's these three have their windows. I think anytime after, let me think.
12.
8 p.m. and before 7 a.m., Waffle House is your bread and butter. So 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.,
Okay, yeah, you're right.
that 10-hour window, that's all Waffle House. But
Early morning break,
IHOP,
IHOP, that's fair.
early morning
But like
IHOP,
midday,
midday lunch or going into maybe some dinner, Denny's can't miss.
That's a good point.
I think they all have their window. That's why whenever you're making these comparisons, it's like, no.
Yeah, early morning Waffle House is not a. Yeah, you're right. That's not a vibe.
If you catch yourself in a Waffle House at 11 a.m., you're not going to have a great time. It's not going to be what you should be getting out of a Waffle House experience.
Isn't it fucked up? Like the best Waffle House shift is probably the fucking. Hey, bro, you're working at 10 p.m. to 7. Fuck.
That fucking that video of like the dude that's doing the job interviews, he said, all right, Jay gonna take you out back. Y'all gonna slap box. And if you could hold your own with him and put you on the 8 p.m., that's that night shift, means you could fight. But if Jay smacks you up, which I know he will, then I'm going to put you on this daytime shift until you learn how to fight.
Dude, that's fucking. Holy shit. Nah, bro. There's that whole video of that girl who caught that chair, bro.
Oh, bro, that
She
shit was
got
crazy.
a chair. She caught it with one hand. I was like, damn, Waffle House really do. They train their employees. Holy
It's
shit.
only one way, and it's not to how to cook breakfast.
Motherfuckers are trained harder than the military. Motherfucker, goddamn. Nah, that shit was, I know in that moment she felt invincible, though.
Oh, real shit. Whenever
Nothing
she
can
saw the
stop me.
video, probably she was like, I'm that bitch.
Nothing can stop me. Shit, the person who threw it's like, oh, shit.
Oh, I need to get the fuck out of
It's
here
like,
right
oh,
now.
fuck. They're like, damn, this is Waffle House, huh?
I need
Shit,
to get
we
the
are a Waffle
fuck
House.
out of here right now, dude.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Yeah, to go back though, fucking these marketing fucking campaigns, we're all getting. I just think at this point we're getting mad over stupid shit. I think that we're all looking for something to be mad at. We're all looking for something to be angry at. And I hate to be that conspiracy theorist who's like, we're all looking at the fucking smoke and mirrors, but at this point, it kind of is just all smoke and mirrors. Like, these companies are making their fucking money no matter what. Basketball, I mean, we're going to go on to the next thing for too long, whatever the next controversy is. It's going to be
Right.
something stupid.
Yeah.
It's always something stupid. Something to kind of, like, you know that they're in the studio. What can we cling on? What do you got? What do you got? What's something that we can fucking,
mean,
what's
it's
something we can
either-
talk about?
It's sad how like predictable things can get because it's either going to be something very stupid or it's going to be something that's very big that people are supposed to pay attention to, like this collapse of the dollar and things like that, or it's going to be something that seems like it's very big but it's really just a formality, like the new presidency that's going to be next year. Like it doesn't fucking matter what it's going to be because it's going to do its purpose. It's going to do its job. It's going to distract a lot of people from their own problems so that they can put all of their energy that they should be putting into changing themselves and fixing their own situation into some shit that has no effect on their life, will never have any effect on their life. And the only reasoning that they would have to do that is to be on the right side of things. It's the literal definition of virtue signaling.
I think the collapse of the dollar, though, that's something as that probably is gonna suck big time.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, so like I heard somebody talking about it yesterday, I think. And I mean, he was basically saying like to compare this to a recession or a depression is outrageous because we've never experienced something like like literal deconstruction of what the dollar is worldwide. You know what I mean? Like we've never experienced that. So to say that it's going to be like the Great Depression is generous in a way.
Fuck, dude, that's gonna fucking suck. We'll see what happens, but I also think like, I mean, we were on gold standard at one point. I think that's also why we're pushing people into factories and shit. We're trying to get on that point where
Are we?
I mean, yes and no. I'd say more so in the fact that, you know, prices are going up and a lot of these businesses like Amazon or Tesla, any of those like just big companies like that are offering a little bit more, you know, with, you know, and just enough to where, you know,
See, but all that seems very conceptual right now. I don't know if any of it's being like implemented yet, which is where I'm asking, like, are we?
I'm saying in general, just like offering benefits and like offering more pay than a lot of jobs are at this point for no college education. And I mean, at this point, people used to say college education was affordable, but I mean, with how things are looking now, it's not necessarily true.
Right. I mean, it's not affordable. It's never been affordable. It's mainly been the idea that like
You'll get a good job and you'll be able to pay
right,
back.
you should be able to supplement whatever your debt is by the job that you get by getting that degree. I mean, it's a scam. It's a business in itself that we've been talking about. Like the only way to make college a successful business is to trick people into thinking college is a necessity, which it is in everyone's mind. I don't know if I want to go to college, but if my kids wanted to go to college, I wouldn't tell them no. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like I think college is a scam. I don't think I got enough education for the money that I spent for my degree. But I couldn't tell my kids that. You know what I mean?
That's
I don't
fair.
want to discourage anyone from going to college just because I didn't get
Oh yeah.
what I felt was an education worth that
Everyone
amount
has
of
their
money.
own life to live.
Exactly.
But yes, also going like there is always going to be something that pops up. Kind of tying that back into what we were saying before was there's always something that's going to pop up. But big corporations with fucking any fucking advertisement marketing scheme with any big media news outlet, dude, it's always something that's fucking gonna be pushed because at this point we're kind of trying to steer away from what actually is happening, and that's a lot worse.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Who gives? Because at the end of the day, you're right. Who gives a fuck about
Yeah.
the color of a fucking can?
yeah,
Who gives a fuck about a rainbow? Who gives a fuck if someone did a fucking
yeah.
hand gesture during a
Oh,
basketball game?
Oh no, are these kids that got disrespected in a basketball game gonna go home and cry? No, they still made it to the fucking championship game. A lot of those girls are probably gonna either get another chance to go back next year, because I'm sure Iowa's gonna be pretty good next year too, or maybe even go to the WNBA. Like, these are not underprivileged kids we're talking about here. Who gives a fuck if they were disrespected? There are actual people getting disrespected on a daily basis, much worse than you can't fucking see me or put a ring on my finger. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, you're not seeing, oh, fucking homeless rates are rising, fucking the dollar's
Right,
depreciating,
like
fucking homeless kids fucking everywhere, kids in the system, fucking
No, it's more important
impoverished areas are not getting the resources they need.
It's more important to talk about how a white girl deserves the disrespect because she disrespected someone else. Like, who gives a fuck? Beyond that, it's like, I don't know. I'm a little bit on the conspiratorial side of like the people that run some of these social media outlets like Facebook, Twitter, and things like that. Like, in these algorithms, it seems like there is a reward to being volatile on the internet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird how much people are attracted to volatile people on the internet. It's interesting because it's like, in your everyday life, if you talk to just random people, like, if you ask them, like, would you say that you enjoy being a positive person or a negative person? Almost everybody is going to answer positive person. Almost everybody is going to say, I don't like it when people are being negative around me. I don't like it when people are putting other people down. I don't like it whenever people are being rude to someone that doesn't deserve it. Almost everybody would probably, in real life, if you ask them, not like volatile people. But it's seemingly the only thing that is rewarded on these social media sites. There's no positive fucking outlooks that get thousands and thousands of retweets or shares or whatever market you want to put it on. All of the things that get shared are fight videos, fucking controversial interviews, fucking all these like bullshit that just arises problems and leads to other problems. It makes no sense. Nobody wants that in real life, so why does everyone want that on the internet?
Is it something to talk about or something to fucking...
Exactly.
Everyone wants something to say about something. That's kind of...
Right.
That's why I'm saying controversy, so.
I guess, but it's beyond that. It's not even the controversy at that point. It's the attention.
It's kinda like
getting the attention by being controversial.
Kind of like the whole Hunger Games thing. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I mean, I saw
like,
the first
where
one.
they have to, where like they have to like put on this face and like go on a show and like talk about this. Like, dude, you're about to fucking
murder each other.
go murder
literally.
each other. Why the fuck are we trying to like appease an audience and like
Right.
all this shit? You know, but I mean, that's kind of, it's unfortunately a little bit of the world we live in at the moment.
I mean, see, and even that, it kind of goes back to a little bit of what we were talking about before the podcast about like on some of the Truman Show ideals, where like, is it the world we live in, or are we just being like programmed to think that it's the world we live in? Because we're so entrained to think that everyone's negative and everyone wants to have a point about something and everyone's got to say something. Is it that way?
I don't think
Is
so.
it the whole world, or are we just being like broadcasted these voices that are meant to make us think that the whole world is like that? That makes us feel as if there isn't a way out of this negative sphere that we've lived in for so long.
I think about it. It was weird because I was at ATB today, and I remember, like, I don't know the context, right? But I think someone asked. It was one of the workers at the moment, and it was kind of. I mean, she seemed really sweet too. Like, I was looking at. I was in the aisle looking at kombuchas and different flavors. She's like, was there like a certain flavor?
Kombucha.
Yeah,
Got him.
I said something like that. What was it yesterday to Matt. It's something like, oh, it's kombucha. It's like, what if I started my own brand called kombucha? He's like, I think that would, yeah, dude, you
That
should
would
do.
sell.
He's like, that's a good,
Spencer's would run that
yeah,
line.
when kombucha, am I right? You got to put a C in there. But anyways, moving on from that, so I was looking at different flavors. She's like, is there a certain flavor? I was like, nah, I'm just, trying to try different flavors. I'm trying to see which ones I like and stuff. Like, oh, okay, yeah, or whatever. And then, like, here a second ago, I guess someone asked her, she's like, yeah, honestly, I'm just trying to keep in high spirits, just trying to do my best and keeping a positive mindset to whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude, I feel like that's like most people right now,
Yeah.
like majority of us are. And like, I think, especially like on social now, I've been blocking people left and right at this point. Just like if I see just people being hateful, not even in the sense of I don't agree with them, just if I see just senselessly like trying to hate on something for no reason, I'm over that kind of
Right.
at this point. Just we're not trying to get anywhere. We just want something to say, and we have all this frustration. I think most of us are just tired, exhausted, upset about a lot of things, and we don't really have anywhere to put it, or we don't know how to like put that out into the world or talk about it.
I just think that not enough people are willing to say like the phrase that I don't know enough about this to have an opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
Or just not say anything at all.
that's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know enough about this to have an opinion. If you're asking me about a topic, instead of just saying whatever ignorant thing I could say to be controversial, to have an opinion, to be on the right side of things, I could literally either say nothing or respond to you respectfully and say, I don't like to speak on things I don't know about. Like, what's wrong with that? Why does everyone have to have a point? Why does everyone have to be on the right side of whatever's going on? Who gives a fuck? If you don't know what you're gonna say, just don't fucking say anything.
Shit.
Like, who cares? You
Go-
can not like the Bud Light cans and respect gay people at the same time. Like, you don't have to broadcast that you're a hateful person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you should stay in the shadows. I'm glad some of these people are broadcasting it so you can stop listening to Kid Rock music. But
Who was listening? No, someone's like,
that's fair.
someone's like, this is a sign to take Kid Rock out of your playlist. I was like, do people still have
You
that?
have him, that man, in your playlist.
I was like, who still has him in their playlist? First, who's still
That's a good point.
listening
That's
to
a good
Kid
point.
Rock?
But what I'm saying is that, like, yes, I'm glad some of these people are broadcasting how ignorant and hateful that they are, but like, it's not a requirement to be hateful and ignorant on the internet. You cannot say anything. You can choose to be peaceful in whatever reality you want to live in, which is questionable.
Yeah, and go back to like the just whole idea of like the Truman Show. It's like we kind of are just accepting whatever's given to us, Just
Yeah.
like, it's a follow the leader thing, or just like we're so comfortable enough, but we're not. No one really is. I feel like majority of the world, or not the world, just even our country is not comfortable, but we're just comfortable enough to like just let me get by, please. Kind of like it
We're
was
surviving.
it's kinda
literally.
like that Rick and Morty, wherever he's like, your side won, whatever voting. It was the coal miners
Oh,
and
yeah.
Planetina's trying to, or no, was it Planetina?
Your side didn't get the votes.
yeah. And he was like, look, some of us have to work for a living, all right? We can't just fucking, like, we can't lose our jobs, basically. Like, some of us
Right.
have to work, and this is how we do it, all right? So if you could just leave us alone,
Your people didn't get the votes. We don't want to do this. We just have to.
basically, like, some people have to vote certain ways because it's their livelihood, unfortunately. But it's just, like, the fact that, like, we kind of just accept it because we're able to live comfortably enough to where it keeps us from not saying
Well,
or
it's
doing
like
anything.
it's the argument of like, and this is a little bit like in the past by now, I would assume. Maybe I'm a little uneducated on coal, but like it's the argument of like, well, if mining coal is bad for people and bad for the environment, we should stop mining coal. But then there's the coal mining towns that are like, well, what would you have us do with our economy then? Because that is this surrounding like value of our entire city is the fact that we are a huge producer of the country's coal. So you're talking about an environmental issue from your office in a different city, state, or country, and we are being left to deal with the economic issues that decision will cause. In our town, the place that we've cultivated and grown up in, and the places that our grandparents have died in, and things like that, it is maybe better for the planet. It is maybe better for the people of that town. But how do you, in a different place, make that type of decision without any type of plan for that town? How do you know what I mean? Like,
And that's the
the
problem.
impacts of these decisions aren't being experienced by the people making the decision in a lot of different fields. You know what I mean?
And there's not really like a path to where like they want to like help with the change. You know what I mean?
No, it's getting worse. Instead of helping with the change, America's just finding their profits by selling companies and businesses and land to China.
And but that's also where like cities and towns get left behind, and that's
Oh,
where you see
yeah.
like these impoverished areas is because of stuff, like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the whole reason every presidential campaign goes around. It's a joke at this point. The coal miners are the backbone of this country. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go around and do that because there are so many groups of disenfranchised people that don't want to vote for anybody, but you need to vote. So you got to go and talk to them and get them on your side, get them to go down to the polls and get them to say that Joe Biden is going to run this country. You know what I mean? Like, who on that level too, like, who gives a fuck? Like, our president is decided before the fucking voting. Like, whenever people like say like, if you do this, then you won't be able to vote anymore. It's like, you're still voting? I mean, that might be controversial. I'll take that on the chin because what are we doing? Your every vote matters and every vote counts. Lies.
Yeah, we know that. Well, I
Like,
mean, we all know that now. I
like,
mean, yeah.
let's be honest with ourselves. Like, there's corruption in the voting system. Duh. Like, what?
And I think it's at a point where I want to say like we really. I don't know if I put it on airplane mode.
Probably didn't.
Hold on.
Hell yeah. Minor technical difficulties, everybody.
though.
We're
We're
on
still
the
It didn't stop. It didn't stop recording though.
No, I know.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're good though. All right. Yeah,
But-
but it's just like the fact that we can. It is the ability to where we can kind of create our own lives, our own reality, and like be able to really make a difference. And it's just hard whenever you see all these big companies who have because money, unfortunately, is how we see what rules the world. And
Yeah.
the fact is, I think majority of us can make differences, especially if we all come together and we're able to, do what we want. And it's also goes back to what we were talking about before we started the podcast as well. Is, it does take a lot of time and energy to make big changes. And, it takes preparation or just, it doesn't even have to sometimes. You just have to do it. But that is, it takes time and energy to adjust and to do all this other stuff. But it's,
commitment more than
commitment.
anything,
It's
but-
not necessarily so big of a thing as much as I think we make it out to be.
Yeah.
Because I know this can sound cheesy, but I was literally, I got out of my car the other day, drove to my girlfriend's house, and I got out. And I was just like thinking about the area. I drive there like all the time, I'm in the area all the time, but I don't really take a look around as
Right.
often as I should.
Don't take it in.
Take it in, right? And I was just looking at the sky. The clouds were like flowing by. It made me think of like when you see in movies when you're a kid and stuff, people like laying on or TV shows laying on a hill in the grass, just watching the clouds go by during the day.
I just watched Contact for the first time, and that's like the final scene where she's just like sitting. It might be the Grand Canyon, but it looks somewhat like the Grand Canyon. It's like red rocks and like a big like canyon type shit. She's just like her car's pulled up behind her by herself with a fucking towel laid out, just sitting watching the clouds and shit like that. Like, I was thinking, it was like, that's probably beautiful, but that seems unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like, how many people pull over to the side of the road and sit down and put a towel down and just watch the sky? I'm sure it happens, but it feels unrealistic
think
in
that's
today's society.
Yeah, but I think that's like the point. Not
Yeah.
that it's unrealistic, but I think the point was just I haven't seen the movie, but I think a scene
You
like
should see it. It's pretty good.
I think a scene like that is kind of impactful. I think in most movies is okay. Like the final scene, you went through all this shit, and finally you pulling up, and you're just like, a breather.
Right.
I'm gonna take a second to take this all in because of whatever just happened. I mean, regardless of what whatever the plot is, that's pretty, like a
Right.
pretty not a common scene, but like
yeah,
something
no,
that
it's
scene
a
would
it's a thematic thing that is used.
Yeah,
to
to
like invoke
unravel
certain
all the stuff that
emotions
just
and
happened.
things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So, I mean, just in general though, I mean, for real, that's how I felt. It was just I could do anything at this moment. I could be anybody and change at any time, and decide to be a different person today than I was yesterday. And as cheesy and cliche as that sounds, when you really put into retrospect and you really take in the world around you and realize all these things that are going on, and you take that step back, and I talk about it all the time, but like as much as I talk about it, I don't do it as much as I
Right.
should, you know. And whenever I do take it in, it's just crazy to think that we really are we are in control more than we think that we are.
Yeah,
Most of us. Not everyone has the same
yes
opportunities.
and no. In certain areas, yes. In certain areas, no. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we are put in certain boxes, and some of those boxes don't have doors. But we also do put ourselves in deeper boxes than those boxes could ever contain us.
And I think that also goes back to just, I mean, if we all did choose to help each other out just a little bit,
Yeah.
we could help each other get out of some of those boxes, or just, whatever the case may be. It's as simple as, so the other day, it's not as simple as, but it could be. The other day I saw, rest in peace. It was a sad situation, but like there was a family outside. I guess someone in their family, cousin or something, had just died. It was a child, like a teenager, had just died,
Okay.
and they were trying to raise funds for the funeral.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it looked like they raised a decent amount. I gave them, I think, like $20.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but just what I could. And it just, however many people, the people coming together to help someone out in a situation that obviously an unfortunate situation
Right.
that no one should have to go through.
Right.
Losing a child or a brother, a cousin, sister, etiquette. It's unfortunate. I think if more of us came together in situations like that, it would open some of those doors that may not have doors because of certain boxes. And I think we do allow ourselves to be put in certain boxes because we imagine I couldn't do that, or this isn't a situation that's. And some situations aren't viable given circumstances. I mean, what I'm saying isn't a one size fit all, but I think everyone is capable of creating their own doors in certain aspects. It does.
Yes.
It doesn't. Not to say it doesn't come without sacrifice in certain areas.
That's the big thing is that like it doesn't come without like there's a saying of like killing your babies. It's like when you have like these things that you've been working on, whether it's a project or a concept or an idea, and you've been working on it for a long time and you've put a lot of work into it, but you realize it's just not going to get to the finishing line. It's just not going to work out the way that you wanted it to. You have to be willing in those moments to be able to say, all the work I put into this, all the things that went into making this possible, I got to throw that out the window for me to move forward and find a different path. For me to get to the destination I want to get to, I might have to realize that I got to walk. Like, if there's a fork in the road and you take the wrong path, you can still turn around and go back to that fork. You're not stuck on this path. You don't have to keep going straight. You can always make your way back to that fork in the road and take the right path.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to make that sacrifice of returning and walking back all the steps that you just took in the wrong direction.
It is annoying and tedious, but I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's not necessarily going to
But yes, it's not just the sacrifices of like what it might take to do that. You have to literally like my pops put it like a certain way where he's like, if you want to change anything about yourself, you have to change everything about yourself. If you want to wake up earlier, it doesn't just mean go to sleep earlier. You have to prepare your mind to be ready for sleep earlier. You have to change the things that you're doing during the day so that you can adjust what time your day is over, so that you can go to sleep earlier, so that you can wake up earlier, so that you can feel better earlier. And then you have to consistently stay on that track.
Consistently.
Consistently
Consistently do that. Consistently.
You have to consistently stay on. I can't talk. You have to consistently stay on that track for a long time before it comes something that's normal. So therefore, it's not just the simple change of I'll set my alarm for an hour earlier. You know what I mean? We think that we can change things in these simple ways, but it is the factor that you do have to, if you want to change one simple thing, you got to change a lot of simple things to make that simple thing possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. And also, I mean, a big point I was thinking about too is, I mean, maybe an extreme example, but not so extreme because a lot of people might have the feeling. You want to move across the world to whatever country,
Right.
I mean, it's very.
Not even that far. You can go state over. It's
Yeah.
still the same thing.
I think it's viable.
Yeah.
It's an option that you could do if you really want to do it. It's just all about what are you willing to sacrifice in order to do. You know what I
Right.
mean? And how bad do you want to do it? It's not that it's that, and everyone does make excuses for themselves, like, oh, this and that and this and that. But if you really want to, it's possible to do. Like, you
Right.
can make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it depends on what your circumstances are and what you have to plan ahead
I mean,
for a lot of people
it's
to do that.
scary.
The jump,
All of those big moves and big steps in your life are scary for sure. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like it does take a little bit of like bravery almost for you to be able to take those jumps, but you have to like keep in mind like there are people that left their home and came to this country with nothing and made a life for themselves and their family and were able to like that story exists just as much as the story of the person that moved out of the country and got themselves into a bad situation and ended up either like living homeless or getting killed or da 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 da. Like there are 100 stories for 100 different situations, but you have to have a level of bravery in your heart to put all of those things on like to the side so that you can experience your life. If you want to go to Africa or Greece or wherever you want to like experience your life in, you gotta go. Whether it's good or bad decision, whether it's smart or stupid, like that's something you want to do. You should do it. You should
Yep.
figure it out and find the concepts that you have to follow for you to be able to make that possible. It's not as easy for everyone as it is for everyone else. Some people have a much harder hand that they're dealt than you do or I do or anyone else that's listening to this. Therefore, I mean, you have a phone or YouTube or anything, then you're probably in a much better position to change your life than a lot of people on this planet. Like I I just think we need to be a little bit more appreciative for who we are and how powerful we are. Like we do have the power to change our entire reality. Like every person that's been inspiring and impactful is that a person. You're a person. What makes you any different than them?
exactly. I think that's something I think about a lot is the fact that no matter who you look at or look to, man, that person had to be somewhere, potentially where you're at now,
Yeah,
and
and
have to make a change. And then, I mean, it decided just to be consistent or put everything in. Some people put their all into something just so they could say that they did it. It's that saying, like I'd rather to have loved and lost than uh not to love at all, but or
right.
like give everything that you had rather than not give any.
I
Just
mean, just to tie it back in, it's like these girls that are at the center of this basically race war online are two girls that worked for 18, 19, 20 years of their entire lives to become this like basically professional athlete so that others that either went to that school or just like basketball or just like March Madness for what it is as like a college hoops thing so that they can enjoy their entertainment. You know what I mean? Like that they are working tirelessly like not just in the gym but also on the mental side of things, like being a student athlete, staying on top of your studies, being what's the word I'm looking for? A role model for kids to look up to type shit. Like they're putting all of their shit on the line just so somebody can go online and say, look at what this black girl did to this white girl. Like that's like in my opinion that's what makes it so like
ignorant.
wrong is because and ignorant is because it's just dismissing and belittling both of these women down to a moment in time where whether you think it's classless or not, it's a celebration of a fucking triumph.
You were
There's
the
no gladiator that didn't fucking cut off the head of his enemy and show it to his people. Like, I think that's a lot worse than saying, you can't see me. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
I think also if we were to really like put it in perspective, if most of us were to dwindle our lives down, uh, some of our
Single moment. Right.
some of our worst moments,
Right.
a single moment, we would not be very great people.
Right.
I've made my mistakes. I know you've made your mistakes. Honestly, I'm very thankful for where I am in the position in life I am. I'm not saying like,
Well, I've never made a mistake. I'm
yeah, no, of course not.
perfect.
That my bad. Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
perfect from the
He's
field.
done everything correct.
100%.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah, that's why we're roommates in this apartment.
Yeah, I balance it out with all the mistakes he's got going
he's,
on.
Doing charity work. What a generous man he is. But yeah, just in general, like I would say from personal experience, like if you dwindle my life down to a single moment, Fuck, you probably think I was horrible. Like I've done like not like terrible things, but I've not always been the best person. I've been an asshole or a couple of times in my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Made some decisions I wish that I would like not have. Well, not I wouldn't say I wish I wouldn't have made. They've shaped me into the person I am today, and helped me become a better person. And I'm thankful for that because I've met some awesome people now, and I'm like, if I wouldn't have gone through those things, I don't think I would be who I am now to have met these people in the state of their lives that they are now. And
Right.
for us to come together and to mesh the way that we do
No, yeah.
based off of our past experiences. And I'm thankful for a lot of that. And I mean, in general, we are capable of changing every day who we are. It's a consistent thought process. Just like we talk about all the time, going through that stuff in the house, man. Honestly, without that, I don't think I'd be who I am now.
Yeah.
That shit was good for a little bit, and then it sucked for a long period of time. But it
Yeah.
also, I think, we came out stronger in the end of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of those moments weren't some of our brightest moments either.
Right.
But I mean, we had to kind of go through that to come out of that and understand that's not the type of people we want to be
Right.
and how we want to go pressing on forward.
And I think really everyone in that house learned that, but it became not it became it becomes a situation where you just got to take control over what you're doing on a daily basis, where you're putting your energy, who you're giving it to, how you're accepting what's going on, whether you should be accepting what's going on or not. You might be getting taken advantage of by everyone in your life, but you'll never know it unless you start paying attention. And it's going to take this level of like, damn, I do gotta dig myself out of this hole. And that's gonna be hard. But I mean, is it not worth it? You know? Like, I don't know. I don't want to get like super sentimental, but at the end of the day, I just think that we're trained to not give a fuck about ourselves in a certain way. We're trained to think that like I don't really know like how to connect this, but like I feel like we're not given the proper tools or education on how to one care for your mental health or two care for your physical health. And because of that, I think we get left in this reality of just survival.
Yep.
Everyone's surviving, like, and there's a couple people thriving every now and then. You know what I mean? Maybe like 1% of the world's population is probably thriving, maybe 2 to be generous. Like, but 98% of the world is not thriving. 98% of the world is surviving.
I would agree.
And so, like, at that level, we do have to find a way to balance the scales. I'm not saying nobody should have to be surviving. Some people that are in a surviving state are like you said, kind of need to be there. Like maybe this is a point in their life where they're learning lessons, and being in a surviving state is teaching them things, or maybe teaching them about what it means to be in a surviving state, so they work harder to get themselves out of it or find a way to not experience that. Like whatever the situation is, what I think is that like we have to find a way to balance the scales, or we're doomed to repeat history, and that's obviously an age-old fucking concept.
I think it's also piggyback off of that is that we also don't know how to, like, caring for ourselves is the first step, but also learning to care for each other. The empathy. We're not taught empathy
Yeah.
or really sympathy, how to like lift people up around you, you know what I mean? If you see someone down, help them lift someone up, and hopefully it's a chain reaction. Not always going to be the case. There are some people that are just inherently, I don't know, it's a kind of an age-old question too, is are people inherently evil, or some people inherently evil, or is it something that they're learned? I think genuinely there are some people that just have it in them, to be selfish personally. But I think the majority of people want to be good. I think the majority of people want to help people. There was a video I watched the other day actually of, and it kind of like it. I've seen it more and more, just in like different things. I was watching a TV show right after I saw this video, and it kind of relayed some of the same ideas.
Or some of it.
But this video was like, it was a generic video, like not generic. It was like a genuine video, like someone just happened to catch it. Some guy just dancing, right, doing his thing. No one else is dancing. Some guy comes to join this guy dancing, and they start dancing together. And a third person comes and joins, and they start dancing, right, come together. And just you see more and more people just start to come together, and like it's like once someone sees somebody else do it and they're having fun, now it doesn't become like a weird thing anymore.
Right.
All these people are doing it, so it's easier for you to join in on it.
It's a chain reaction.
Yeah. It's just, and it's also, it was like I watched another like breakdown of it in like terms of leadership of that video, because I saw the video originally, and then someone had posted a link underneath that video about like the leadership aspect of it, and talking about how that kind of changed their view on things. And it did mine too a little bit. Just you do your own thing, do something you enjoy, do things you love, lift people up. And it seems weird at first, and especially in the society that we're born into here in America, very individualistic. People might look at you weird, or might not, really enjoy the fact that you're doing that. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't still do it, because then you might eventually find more people starting to do it, and it might become a thing that
conversation of like self-censorship at that level. Like why, like people are not doing what they want to do it as to not look weird in front of other people,
not to
type
rock the
shit.
boat.
Right. When in fact rocking the boat may be the only thing that people need to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, why are we protecting this motherfucking boat? You know what I mean? We didn't build it. Who gives a fuck about it?
Exactly. But with that being said, I do think there's a lot of like potential that people are kind of doing to pave the way for other people to be able to be more successful and to help people out. I'm talking mostly like entertainment wise, but I think it should trickle down into the community. And like I've always talked about it, like that's one of my things I really want to do is put together like a big community event at some point. Bring out a lot of people, have DJs, have like food, raise money. That's something I'm really want to do at some point, which I know it's gonna happen. It's just getting my brain together and planning it to make it happen. But in general, just like seeing, for instance, your mom's house on YouTube, how they just put on they funded a special, right? I think you were telling me.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Yeah, they just funded a special. Now they have other podcasts under them where they kind of help, push and market and stuff like that. Just like kind of Tiny Meat Gang does too. They have a few podcasts that they promote on their channel as well. You look at in the music industry, artists like John Summit, who just started his own label and he throws his own shows. The Offbeat movement, you have with 808 Designs, where they're throwing afters and shit. Just like a lot of these smaller people who built themselves, from nothing basically, and just started doing their own thing, and now they're kind of throwing their own stuff, and they're able to put people on that might not have had the opportunity. He just wants attention.
Wants to go outside. He's going for it though. He needs to shut the fuck up.
But it's just people giving these people the opportunity to maybe have a chance to do something more. In these companies that have, like Tom Segura, had to work hard at his craft for however long, become a comedian, then work his podcast up, and then his wife do the same, and then both of them coming together, and now finally after all these years of hard work, being able to find the fruit of their labor and create a platform to where they're able to put other people on. Like they have the Danny Brown podcast on there, which Danny Brown's hilarious, and being able to have him on, it's kind of like what Kill Tony does too.
Yeah.
Where you have a minute. If you kill, you have the potential. God, dude.
They're going for it, man. They just want some attention to die. A die.
But yeah, it's the like Kill Tony, where you get a minute. If you kill that minute and you consistently come up and you're on the show and you just keep killing that minute, you might be able to catch a ride on someone's tour and go on tour to do comedy. Not to say that it's gonna come easy, because Kill Tony will roast the shit out of you. Tony, was it Hinchcliffe?
Yeah.
He'll roast the shit out of you. You just see like where your head's at. You might have just killed that minute on stage, but he might also just roast you to see if you're able to take it, because comedy's tough.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I think it's awesome that people are able to build, and just like whether it's in the community, whether it's like these businesses or whatever, it's like we're able now to kind of, especially with the internet, to create these communities to where we are able to put people on, to help people out, to lift people up, to give people these opportunities they may not have had before, to see the potential in these smaller artists, comedians, musicians, fucking podcasters, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And actually give them a shot and take a chance on them and actually build them up and give all these people like chances to live a life they might want to live, or even just small businesses in general. You know what I mean?
No, I know. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean,
bringing the community together, and like it's like I said, if throw a community event, bring like some small business that you love out and have them do the food or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they get most of it, but some of the money goes to proceeds. It's just like a whole thing. Like you don't really get any money out of it, but
yeah,
you're helping the community out, bring the community together. That's something that's would be worth it.
I mean, we do have events like that around town. I mean, they're not as broadcast. That's really the issue, is that there's no real way to there is a way. There's no real people broadcasting the community events. Like, yeah, like there's like I guess you could go on like Yelp or fucking Facebook like communities or something. I don't really know how you would even broadcast
Facebook's
that,
a
but
big
like,
proprietor in that.
but I mean, it is just like it seems conceptually hard. You know what I mean? Like whenever you're like, I want to throw a community event, it's like, well, wait, there's actually a lot of work that goes into doing
Yeah, just
that.
planning. Yeah.
Not just planning, but like networking and fucking maybe even getting like permits to do certain
That, yeah.
shit and things like that. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and to the average person that works a 9 to 5 that has kids, like I can't do that. You know what I mean? But then again, that goes kind of back to like just putting yourself in these boxes. I mean, I'm sure you could do that. You might not have as much free time as you have now, but
Yeah, I
you would
think
be
about
spending your free time doing something good for the world.
Yeah, I think about the people who really are dedicated, man. Because I was watching this video also of these people like they go in like polluted bodies of water, like not deep, super deep ones they can kind of walk in and stuff.
They
And they
drink it.
Yeah, that's the main purpose.
Sick,
They
dude.
clean
What
out
does
the
it taste
trash.
like?
Probably pollution. I don't know if you're drinking the water out of Ohio, probably death.
Do
That's
they get
probably what
superpowers?
Yeah, dude. You get to see the afterlife. That's your
Ooh,
superpower.
That's a good power.
Yeah, dude.
Because I mean, like everyone else doesn't know if there's an afterlife, but you for sure get to see it.
You get
so
to
like,
know exactly.
that's pretty sick power.
Fucking really winning out here. But they picked up the pollution and shit.
He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. And so like it's some people spend their extra time cleaning up.
Yeah.
Some people at the soup kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole trash bash shit and like that.
People spend their extra time just trying to make a difference, whatever little bit that they can. Neighborhood watch. I hate neighborhood watch, but if that's how you feel, I don't have a neighborhood watch where I'm at, but
You don't have a neighborhood where you live.
Yeah, that's fair. But I guess if that's how you feel like you're making a difference, good for you.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that for sure.
Part.
The neighborhood watch.
Oh yeah.
I'm all for people like being involved in their communities. But if what you're doing is snitching on kids for smoking weed in their parents' car, then I don't fuck with you.
Oh yeah, if you're calling the police on some shit like that, you're fucking
Honestly, anyone that's just calls the police. I mean, I get why we have the police, but like if you're calling the police, unless there's like a break-in or a murder or something that requires police attention, then I don't get why you're calling the police. Usually ever.
It's something that could probably potentially just be handled
mostly
between
that
each
you
other.
don't want to deal with the problem.
100%, yeah.
I mean, and usually in most cases the problem isn't even a problem. Like I mean Reno 911 used to make jokes about it, like how on like every call they would have, it was like, you don't need to be here type shit. But I mean, like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's better to have and not need than need and not have. But that goes into like why ticketing and things like that exist. Like why there's quotas, it's because like you have it, so you have to have some use for it.
To get
Even
funding.
if there's even if there is no use for it, it's like crime is a someone said it in like a rap song. It wasn't even like a lyric. It was like either one of the intros or outros. They say crime don't pay. Say like judges, lawyers, fucking bail bonds, like all these places, like crime pay like a motherfucker. Like literally, crime is a business. There's an entire business around crime. It's not just the prison industrial complex. It's also all of the lawyers, judges, and things like that have to get paid somehow. You know how that's gonna happen? Crime's gotta exist, baby. We gotta keep moving the needle so people keep doing illegal things so that we can keep putting them in jail.
Fucking bullshit.
So we can end on that.
Yeah, I think that was
That's
it.
a dark
I think
note
that was
to
a good
end on,
note,
but let's do it.
Hey, you know what? Do what you want out here. Live your life. Don't get caught up in the bullshit. Just keep pressing on. Show a little compassion. Show a little empathy. Care for somebody. Lift somebody up if you can. Lift yourself up, most importantly. Find some things that you love to do. I just recently picked up some kendama. It's a toy. Put the ball in the cup. fucking awesome. Also, shout out any yerba drinks, energy drinks, natural caffeine. I don't
Okay.
I didn't say any brands, but yerba, that shit fucking hits. Also, shout out boiled peanuts. I just tried them for the first time. Boiled peanuts kind of don't hit. They're decent, but they're not the best. I just want to put that out there. Much love to all you fucking guys. Thank y'all for tuning in every week. Finding Danny podcast. You know we're fucking here, baby. 100th episode coming soon. I'm not going to put a date
Don't
on
wait
that.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, not going to put a date on that just yet. We're going to figure some things out. We're going to make some shit happen. Probably get...
But after 100, we got 3 guests lined up. So you guys...
3?
Yeah. I believe. Cole again.
Well, Cole's going to... We'll probably have a third.
We'll hopefully we'll hopefully invigorate a third person.
Oh, Vickers. We got Vickers.
Vickers and Eric.
So yeah, we'll have some guests coming on. We'll probably end up getting a third person who's finally going to end up helping us with the podcast. We'll see how that goes. Thank you guys. 100th episode. We're going to make it special for you guys. We don't know just yet what we're going to do, but it's going to be something dope. So stay tuned. Love you guys. Y'all take care. Anything from you, Josh?
Suck my dick.
All right, there you go. Later, guys.